All 10 secret rares for Duelist Nexus are here. Remember, check out Kong's cards. They're going to have pre-sales up later on in the day. You can use discount code MCO40 and save on your purchase today. We're going to be starting off here with the Crystal God Testina. This is the big boss monster out of the set, or probably the best card that you're going to get. During your main phase, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face-down defense position. Then you can send all face-up monsters your opponent controls to the graveyard. Hey, wait, that answers the question of, oh, does this handle, link monsters? Yes, it does. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face-down defense position, and then send all face-up monster opponent controls to the graveyard. Yeah, that's an Aqua monster. If you've read the rest of the theme from the imports video, you know that this card is actually pretty incredibly easy to summon, which is actually pretty cool. It's on a 2,000, 3,000. If I was to put value on this, $15 to $20 feels like where we're going to be with this, but it's going to depend on how splashable this ends up being. Next up is Nightmare Magician, and I'm going to be completely straight up dead honest with you here. I think this is by far probably one of the worst secret rares in the set. Now, it is an illusion monster, and it does have if this card battles a monster, neither can be destroyed by that battle. So yeah, standard clause that most illusion monsters have. And at the end damage step, if this card battled an opponent's monster, you can take control of that opponent's monster, and then once per turn at the start of the damage step, if another monster attacks, you can destroy one card on the field. I'm, once again, going to be honest with you. I don't know why this needed to be a secret rare, let alone a quarter century to bubble things up here. But on the previous video, I put this card at maybe $2 to $3. This is going to be one of the worst cards in the set in terms of value. And I guarantee you a lot of people are going to look at this and they're going to be like, what in the world? Like, what was the purpose of printing this in secret rare? It's because it's a fresh new illusion monster and it takes control of an opponent's monster. That's literally it. Next up is my personal favorite, Sleipnir, the Runic Main. And any Runic card summons this. During your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, quick effect, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, banish both that monster and this card until the end phase. It does clear up the extra monster zone, which is very important. And if a card or cards is added from the main deck to your opponent's hand, except during damage step, so then go draw phase, draw, you get the token. You can special summon a Runic token, very light, level 4, 1500 attack, 1500 defense in battle position, or in attack position. You can only use that effect each turn. This is the Tyrant's Tirade target that I've always wanted. So this gives you the additional copies of Tyrant's Tirade with this deck. And honestly, card is pretty good. The Warp Out effect is what carries this. I'm going to say $10 to $15 will definitely be one of the pushing points for this card. I mean, once again, Pure Runic absolutely loves this. Next up is Vices Aratara. I probably just butchered that name, and I apologize. Remember, this is a tuner monster plus one light monster, and as I said in the previous video, you can tuner this, all right? This is Gotham's, all right? And a lot of people didn't seem to understand that, or they were perplexed by that statement, but yes, that's how it works. This card's name becomes Vices Starfrost while on the field. You only use each of the following effects this card's name once per turn. So if this card is synchro summon, you have a spell or trap that mentions Vices Starfrost from your deck to your hand, and then during your main phase, you destroy one monster you control. All synchros you control get an 800 attack boost. I love this card because all of the little synchro loops, all of the value that you get with this card is pretty cool. Also, coming in on a level 8 isn't too crazy, and trust me, when you start seeing Mana Diem shenanigans going through this card's going to be pretty good. I would say this is probably going to be possibly one of the slightly more expensive secret rares in the set just because of immediate value, but if you compare it to Vicious Shroud, we'll wait and see. Next up is Dark World Corridor. This is another card that a lot of people are like, Robbie, why do you say that this is a 2 of in Dark World? I want to play 3 of it. If you want a brick, sure. So let's let you add a Dark World monster from your deck to your hand and then discard a card. That's fantastic. That's amazing. That's busted. But you can only activate one Dark World Corridor per turn. So the reason why, people are playing less copies of this card is because they don't want the brick factor of this actually coming into play. If you open up 2 of these, you can only go through 1. Well, Robbie, you can discard it. No, I want to discard the Dark World monster that I just searched so I can trigger that effect. Like, that's the whole point. I'm playing Dark World. I want my cards to be able to interact with the particulars of this. So I think that's pretty important to understand that this is a 1 to 2 of. You're not trying to maximize this as a 3 of. If you do try to play 3, you're the strongest duelist I've ever met. And I think this also might have an interesting price tag as well. At least this still should be a little bit more budget here for Dark World players. Next up is the Crimson Dragon, aka the Sneak Peek promo. And this is by far, I think, one of the best cards in this set. So remember, it's a tuner plus 1 or more non-tuners to make it. On Special Summon, I love that. On Special Summon. Not on Synchro, it's on Special. You can add a spell and trap card that mentions Crimson Dragon from your deck to your hand. Now, this is where we love this card. Quick effect. Target 1 level 7 or higher Synchro monster on the field, except for the Crimson Dragon. Return this guy back to the extra deck. It dips on out. And you can special summon a Dragon Synchro monster from your extra deck with the same level as the targeted monster. This is treated as a Synchro summon. Yeah, there are some King Calamity shenanigans that I've seen come up with this. Actually, there's a lot of stupid things that I've seen. Honestly, I think Crimson Dragon, probably, good news is it's a 1 of. A lot of these secrets in this set kind of meet the 1 to 2 of category. You're not going to have to go out of your way too much, but 20, at least on release, feels a little bit up there. Well, here's the most expensive secret rare in the set by about a mile. All right, I think that this card's going to continue to go up very, very highly over time. Revolution Synchron. If you control, or if you synchro summon a power tool or a level 7 or 8, dragon monster, this card in your hand can be used as material. My favorite play is normal Alistair effect. Use this to make a level 7. And then you're like, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and you can also, if you control that level 7 or 8 higher Synchro monster, while it's in your graveyard, middle top card of your deck, special summon this card, and becomes a level 1. I love making Crystal Wing for free. Oh, wait, it's a mill 1. Yeah, I know. But you can only use that effect of this card once per duel. So they did put a heavy restriction on it. They don't want you to be able to filter through multiples of these. Trust me, that would be absurd. I can't imagine this is a once per turn. But alas, it's going to be very cheap at first, and it's going to spin up horribly. Next up is Evil Czar Lars. Can't believe the official name. I liked Roz, but all right, we'll take Lars. 2 level 6 monsters. When this card has material, your opponent cannot target it with monster effects. Okay, that's interesting. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, detach 2 materials from this card, or just 1 material, if all this card's material are reptile and or dinosaur, target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and negate its effects till the end of this turn. It is essentially a detach to negate something, or if its materials are reptile and or dinosaur, you get a negate 2, which actually is pretty alright. I'm not exactly sure where we're going to put Lars. I know in like the immediate dinosaur world the card is pretty decent, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe 15 to 20 bucks, but that feels a little bit high just to kind of start things off here. Next up is the, I don't even know what the English name for this was. The OCG name was the Mirror Formation of the 10 Sacred Treasures. So this lets you send a monster or monsters from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard so that their total levels equal exactly 10 to draw 2 cards. Now, we just did get that new exclusive level 10 Bone Tower Zombie thing that is, if you control a level 10 monster, you can, do the special summon as well. So basically what Konami's trying to do here is they're putting a little bit more love into the realm of level 10 decks. And I understand what they're trying to do. I think it's very cute, but as is the destiny with most of the draw cards, I don't think that this card is going to be too expensive. I think we're following in the same shadow as most everything else here, but it is a draw card. You know how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is when it comes to these sorts of things. Maybe something will go crazy or what, but for now, I would not spend an absurd amount of money on this. And our grand secret rare here is the Sinful Spoils of Subversion. Snake Eye. This is the beginning of the tale, as we're going to call it here, because you already know it's coming out in the next set. Target 1 face-up monster on the field. Place it face-up in its owner's spell and trap card zone. As a continuous spell, you can only activate 1 Sinful Spoils of Subversion Snake Eye once per turn. And before you ask, what if I put a Link monster into the spell and trap card zone? Do I still get the Link arrows? No. What if I put a Pendulum monster into the zone? Do I still get those? No. That's how it's been ruled the last couple of days when I was reading working through discussions on this. Not going to happen. But an interesting little piece, nonetheless. Definitely something if you're planning on having Snake Eye cards for the next set that you might want to have. It's the new Vice of Starfrost for the next 8 sets. Can't wait to see this become $25 for no reason. That is all 10 Secret Rares for this set. Now remember, every Ultra, every Secret Rare is a quarter century. Buckle up. Higher rarity is going to be absurd. Please leave a comment down below to my choice thing. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.